Land Rover pulled the covers off of their all-new Range Rover Evoque a short while ago, but we're now finally seeing the North American specific version, which is basically the European version tweaked a little bit for our particular market. For 2020, they didn't want to change the format of the Evoque too much, so the front end is instantly recognizable as the outgoing model. Up front, the headlamps are definitely slimmer than the outgoing model, but again, basically the same sort of shapes are going on here. These are really thin, narrow LED headlamps I think are really attractive and give this definitely a classy look compared to the outgoing model. Everything else has been shrunken a little bit, so we have less grille going on here up front that helps improve the overall aerodynamics. And then we also have some air inlets right here on the side that again help smooth the air across the vehicle and help improve overall dynamics. The reason for that is that the Range Rover Evoque needs to be as efficient as possible because this is again their volume seller, and of course they have to comply with all the latest government regulations when it comes to average fuel economy scores. So it's important that this get high fuel economy, and that's also why we're going to see a mild hybrid system available under the hood. The overall side profile is instantly recognizable as the Evoque and of course a Range Rover. We have kind of an interesting little swoop here that joins the headlamp module right there with the bump over the wheel, and then this area right here by the side view mirrors. Now the Evoque overall has grown a little bit for this generation, and that's because the outgoing Evoque was actually on the small side of the segment, so they wanted to give it a little bit more interior room. Now, where the Evoque fell behind some of the competition was overall rear headroom, not necessarily legroom. It was actually very roomy in this segment as far as the general competitors from Europe go. Now, they've also improved the overall cargo capacity in the back and cargo access as well. Out back we have some very distinctive tail lamps. These are also slim in design in order to link with what's going on up front. Large Range Rover logo right there. And then down here at the bottom of the grille, we don't find visible exhaust tips. They're actually tucked under the vehicle right there. Now in this particular trim, we get some additional go anywhere cladding on the back. And in the upper end trim, we have things that look like exhausts, but the tips are actually still tucked right there under the bumper. And then we get sort of a tri-tone color theme going on here. Black accents, body color parts, and then some gray accents, and then some additional colors down here at the bottom. Under the hood, we find one of JLR's latest engine designs. It's an all-new 2-liter 4-cylinder engine, features direct injection and all of their latest technologies in order to improve power and fuel efficiency. Power in the base trim comes in at 246 horsepower, and then if you want to add the mild hybrid system, then it bumps it up by 50 horsepower to nearly 300. All models of the Evoque come standard with all-wheel drive. That does separate this a little bit from the rest of the European competition sold in America. You'll notice that this engine is transverse across the engine bay. This is a little bit different than the rest of the Range Rover line in America. But at this point in time, there is no front-wheel drive version of the Evoque sold. Again, everything comes with all-wheel drive standard. And we have the availability of a 2-speed transfer case, which is also a little bit unique in this segment. You won't find that on the Q3, the X1, X2, Volvo XC40, etc. We don't know official fuel economy numbers in the US yet, but expect the mild hybrid system to likely get class-leading fuel economy. It's probably going to be right up there along the lines of the Lexus UX. On the inside, we find quite simply the nicest interior that you can get in this segment. From the leather-wrapped airbag cover to the leather dashboard that's available, all the other stitched parts that are going on in here, this definitely has a high level of build quality. In addition to the improved interior components, we also have improved electronics. We have a full LCD instrument cluster on the driver's side with a new design versus the outgoing model. And then we have the latest infotainment and navigation system from the JLR group. This is not a pop-up screen, but it does tilt out, which is kind of an interesting touch, and that is apparently adjustable. We then have our dual zone climate controls right here on a separate LCD. This is also where we find the infotainment system's power button. The high level of build quality overall continues on the front doors, where you can see there's a great deal of stitched material and the seams are very well placed. And this level of quality is not held just on the front doors. The rear doors also receive the same sort of touches. As you'd expect from one of the smallest entries in this segment, overall legroom does come in behind some of the competition. But we have a generous amount of headroom, even in this model equipped with the optional panoramic moonroof. Overall interior space efficiency is something that the Evoque has generally done very well in the last generation and in this generation also. Overall cargo area has increased in this generation of the Evoque, as you can see right here, but we still don't find a spare tire underneath the cargo area load floor. That's pretty typical in a luxury crossover of this size. As with the previous generation Evoque, this generation is still considered the premium entry in this particular segment. And that's really obvious when you look at the pricing, which we fortunately already know. This will start at $43,645 before destination. That's a full $11,000 more than an Audi Q3. It's about $9,000 more than a BMW X1, about $8,000 more than a comparable Volvo XC40, but we get a lot more equipment and a lot more luxury touches on the inside than you find in any of those competitors. And as a result, this definitely feels more exclusive on the inside, on the outside, etc. On the downside, you'll definitely have to pay for all those luxury touches, because if you want to get a fully equipped version, it will easily be $10,000 to $15,000 more than any of the direct competition. Land Rover tells us that the Evoque will be on sale on dealer lots in America come spring of the calendar year 2019. So if you want to get your hands on one of these, you won't have too much longer to wait. Until then, be sure to hit that subscribe button down there at the bottom of your screen, and of course stay tuned for the full review just as soon as we can get our hands on one.